Milwaukee. You ready to get this thing started? Make some noise for your host this evening, Flagge.
How we feeling, Milwaukee Improv? Hell yeah, that's great. I like saying Milwaukee because, like, not really, right? It's Brookfield. You guys are like Milwaukee when the Bucks and Brewers are winning, and they're like, there's a protest now, we're Brookfield, right? Like, that's how this goes out here. I get it. I'm from West Dallas. We're like, all right, let's just bury our heads in this. Woo, West Dallas? What are you drinking? Water, you broke piece of shit? That is... Me too, don't worry. I'm trying to scam a sweatshirts payment for this weekend. I'm like, I got food stamps? What do I got here? That's where I go right now. We all vaccinated in here, everybody? That's right, they don't got enough staff to come in here and check your cards live. Whoop it up, everybody. I'm vaccinated. I got vaccinated the way you're supposed to, right? At a pharmacy that's been converted into a Boost Mobile vape shop, right? By a college-educated, certified dental hygienist who was a Muslim woman, not that it mattered, but I think that affords me the ability to say I kind of miss Trump, right? Like, I did all the right things, right? I can say, like, least favorite president, most favorite Twitter at 2 in the morning, right? Like, I liked the guy enough to toss him a like on Twitter. I didn't like him enough to vote for him. That's where I stand on politics. I'm like, some of those tweets are fire if you're like 10 high lifes in, right? Like, that's... You're like, all right, I get it, this guy's joshing. And you're like, oh, no, he's not. Whoops. Well, likes don't add to the popular vote. Who gives a fuck, right? I don't know, like, I don't like the whole thing about carrying your vax card around. I don't like it. I think it's weird, personally, because I look like the descendant of all of the show me your papers people. Like, too much so to have to be showing my papers. I'm like, I'm grandfathered in, right? Like, or OPA'd in, is that how they say it in Germany? Der Opa, you're laughing, you're like, yeah, it's like, you got a grandpa that you don't talk about, right? Like, that's good. There is one group of people that should have to show their vax cards, and for the reason that they got vaccinated, though. It's the people that waited a long time and were like, I'm not getting that goddamn vaccine, I don't know what's in it. And then the Wisconsin State Fair was like, we'll give you a cream puff if you get vaccinated. And they're like, how bad can it be if they're giving away a pastry, right? Like, I thought this was bullshit, but I'm getting pastries on a Wednesday? All right, a poke for a puff, let's go, baby. You know what, you should have gotten a cream puff if that's what you wanted, because you were like, listen, I care about what goes into my body, and I'm not getting that vaccine. But then they're like, a cream puff that I can eat while stepping over a pile of horse shit in flip-flops, like it might get in my toenails, but hey, I'm walking off these calories from the cream puff, right? No, this is what they should have done to those people. Is what they should have done is they should have given you the shot, they should have given you your cream puff, they should have given you a blue ribbon, and then chained you to the fucking floor so people can walk by and see what a real pig looks like, right? Because you're an exhibit now. Woo, that's right. You're talking bad about my people from West Dallas. Don't worry, I'll come for you too, Brookfield. It's okay. No, I don't know. It's dumb. Like that was the worst. That was like the worst apocalypse we could have had, though, right? Like COVID. Like, that was not what Hollywood sold us, was it? That was not what they sold us in like Planet of the Apes or like Dawn of the Dead or like The Walking Dead or like Zack Snyder's remake of Dawn of the Dead, right? Like, that was not what they sold us. The only ones who got it remotely right were Shaun of the Dead, a comedy from Great Britain. They got it right. They're like, yeah, the world ended, but you're still coming to work on Monday. Like, that was fucked up, wasn't it? Like, that, like, the most evil, vile thing to come out of the pandemic wasn't like the politicization of everything. It wasn't people being polarized. It wasn't any of that. It wasn't the death or the destruction of the economy. What it was Zoom. That was the most evil thing that happened, right? Like, your work was like, it's too dangerous outside to come in to work. And then they fucking FaceTime you. And they're like, what are you doing? And you're like, I'm fucking wrapping a baseball bat and barbed wire right now because I'm going hunting. What are you doing? And they're like, well, you're not going hunting until after 5 p.m. because we got a code of conduct refresher. Well, by the time, like, who would have thought the world would end and if you decided to hang up on your boss, you could get a step 1 write-up? Like, what was that? They didn't tell us that in the movies. It was so dumb. This is the worst thing about Zoom. From 9 to 5, you had to go sneak off to the bathroom in your own home to jerk off, guys. That was... Like your mother-in-law was staying over during work hours for the end of the world. You gotta just sneak off. Like, I gotta jerk off. You couldn't even take your phone with because you're on a Zoom call. You had to jerk off into the memories. Like it's the fucking Stone Age. Is nothing sacred to these people? Just spanking it to the hits, right? I don't know. You gotta start thinking about things like I dated that girl when I was in high school. Is that weird if I jerk off to that memory right now? Am I a pedophile? Is that? You gotta start like questioning your own morality, but not in the, oh, I killed a guy in the apocalypse way. It's not what they sold us in The Walking Dead. I never know where to do this next joke in my set at all, so I'll just do it right now. Like, this is cool. Like, I watched a YouTube series, it's called Soft White Underbelly. There's probably some true crime women in here that watch that, right? Nobody watches it. This is what it is. It's a photojournalist who just interviews people who've led fucked up lives, like murderers and like drug addicts and like Cardinals fans. And he asked them, he's like, how did you get this way? And it's always dad was mean, right? Like that's what happened. And there was one episode that threw me for a loop by the title. I didn't even get past the title. It just said, former pedophile speaks. And I was like, former? Like, what, did this guy retire? So I don't think that's what happened, because here's the one thing, I don't know if you guys know a whole lot about pedophiles, but they're like the one group of people that have never said, I'm getting too old for this, right? Like, that's how they became pedophile. Like, they're too old. Like, being too old for this is their thing. I think this guy was like a got-caught pedophile, right? Like, he wasn't gonna stop, but those meddling kids, right? It's a long way to go for a Scooby-Doo joke, but we got there. I don't know. My favorite thing, I started to love the masks after a certain point. I started to love that, like, wearing a mask became a lot like wearing a condom. Like, you're shaking your head. You'll agree with me in a minute. It was a lot like wearing a condom. Because, like, every interaction you had with a stranger started off with you wearing one, but after a couple minutes, you're like, we're all friends here, right? And you took it off. You took it off! You're like, it's bar closing, we all got it, right? Like, what is it, 1 in 4? I did actually, I don't like the masks. I was kidding, you shook your head. I don't like the mask. No, not you, your friend. It was hard. Yeah, like, pay attention. See, you're paying attention to me. You don't even know what's happening next to you. I like that. That's good audiencing. That's bad audiencing talking right there. She's good. Watch her, watch me, and that's what you should be doing, okay? So, my girlfriend and I, we go out to eat in real fancy places in West Dallas, and we gotta walk up to the counter to order your lunch. When you both kind of act like, do we have the money for this right now? Like, right? And they had like the plexiglass in front of the register, and on the plexiglass they had a sign, and the sign said, when you get to the front of the line, please speak up. So we waited in line 6 feet behind everybody else, and then we got to the front of the line, and I said, she fucking hits me. And the girl at Five Guys was confused, right? Like, she was like, what? And I'm like, gosh, you probably can't hear me because of this mask on my face. So I took the mask off, and I went, she fucking hits me! And they were like, sir, you need to leave. And I'm like, God damn it, I can't win today. I was like, son, she's gonna get hangry. You guys know about hangry? That's just so your girlfriend can act like a bitch in front of people. Because the Cajun fries are taking too long. She's like, I'm hangry. It's like, that's not a quirk. You're just causing a scene, and it's not like the third week of the month, like it's... Shouldn't talk about my girlfriend that way. I like to drink. I'm a drinker. I have a favorite bar. It's called Left's Lucky Town in Tulsa. We got some Left. Yeah. I was at Left's one time when the world opened back up, which was immediately because it was Tulsa. And this guy was sitting there in a trucker hat next to me, and he ordered a drink. And when they handed him the drink, they're like, we can't open it for you, so you gotta open it yourself. And he cracked open this can, and he took a sip, and he went, effervescent. And I was like, that's a weird way to describe Natty Light. Effervescent, I go, a skunky, cheap, weird, those are the words, like effervescent. Like, are you the only guy who pays attention to the word of the day on the Quick Trip gas pumps? Like, did Shira Lazar go, effervescent's the word of the day, and you're like, I'm using that one at Left's with the boys tonight. I don't care what they give me for $2. And Natty Light isn't even the most disgusting thing that Natty Light makes, right? Like they make a thing. Are there any lesbians in here? It's called Natter Days, right? It's like, Natter Days? Yeah, strawberry lemonade infused Natty Light. It's powdered lemonade inside of a Natty Light, and they shake it up, and they're like, here you go, trash. And for those of you that don't know what it is, strawberry lemonade infused Natty Light, it's a summertime beverage. It tastes like a backyard campout, but you're at your parents' house and they don't know you're there because you've been evicted, right? Like that's what it tastes like. It's like get out notices and summertime, you know? And I just like strawberry lemonade Natty Light, like I don't know like who's that for? Like what intersection of gay and racist is that for, right? Like is that for like, I don't know, for like a guy with like a rainbow Confederate flag? Or like a NASCAR enthusiast who can't tell his dad yet? Or is it like for like somebody who can't stomach barley and hops or interracial dating? Like who the fuck is Natter Days for? And I was like, I don't know, so I'm gonna write the commercial for you guys. I've never seen a commercial. So it's gotta be a little bit gay, it's gotta be a little bit racist. I won't call it racist, there are a lot of white people in here, it makes you uncomfortable when I say that word. I'll call it Americana, but we know what I mean. What's more Americana racist than like the grave digger monster truck, right? Like it's, right? And what it's gonna do is roll out of that tunnel, probably the Pfizer Forum, right? Local references, and we're just gonna crush some pussy-ass Priuses, right? Is that not in America? We're diesel! America! But then, like, also it's gotta be a little bit gay, so it also doesn't have to be American, so who's driving it? Who's driving it? That's right, it's Elton John, just as a sparkling theme dot, right? And he's gonna roll down the window and hold out the can of Natter Days. Summer, you were way ahead of me, and he's just gonna go, Natter Days, Natter Days, Natter Days, Natter Days, Natter Days, Natter. This joke is mostly filler, but it's also low calorie. Natter Days, Natter Days, Natter Days. And then he's gonna say effervescent, or however they say it in English. Are you guys ready to keep the? Yeah, you're the only one who. See, we're speaking English, Milwaukee, Brookfield. You guys ready to keep this show going?